right, so let's get started. Thank you for joining the Python and Oracle Database Office Hours session today. This session is delivered for the EMEA time zone. We had a session last evening for me. I'm based in the United States in the Pacific zone. For those who don't know me, my name is Veronica Dimitriou, and I'm a product manager in the Oracle Database group. I have joined this group relatively recently. Previously, I have been a product manager in the Oracle Analytics space, namely in the financial analytics, OBIA and OTBI, so really doing SaaS. In my current role, I look after language APIs such as the Python driver that I'm going to talk about today. I leave here the safe harbor statement. I will let you read it for 30 seconds. It's important to know that I will be sharing information related to our APIs for Oracle Database, but I will not be able to speak to timelines in specific terms. All right, so what do we have on the agenda today? It's been a while since our series has had a session, and on the agenda, we'll focus on the new python-oracledb driver for Oracle Database. I'll give an introduction, and then I'll speak a bit about our vision regarding this product. And I'm also going to talk about a new initiative that I am heading, namely Global Developers Program for Python. Hopefully, we will just steer your interest to join this initiative, and I will speak later about it. Let's start with the introduction and vision for the Python driver for Oracle Database. First of all, let me just give maybe an overview of the larger group that I am part of. So the Oracle Networking, Data Access, and Database Drivers team is part of the Oracle Database organization, and it provides a comprehensive and integrated suite of open source programming languages APIs, including the Python OracleDB driver for Python, which is formerly known as CX Oracle, the Node OracleDB driver for Node.js, ODBC, JDBC, .NET, etc. All these drivers are used for creating, deploying, and tuning scalable applications and services for Oracle Database on-premise and in the cloud. Now, here on the left-hand diagram, you notice the variety of the most commonly used programming and scripting languages. My team looks after the client side, including the client libraries and language drivers for C and scripting languages. So because we own the infrastructure that is used by the drivers to communicate to the Oracle database, we get involved in any database features that gets exposed to the developers community. So we provide solutions for mission-critical applications, specifically in the area of scalability and high availability. But we also provide consultation help for third-party developers wanting to connect to the Oracle database. SQL and PL SQLs are the Oracle proprietary languages for Oracle database, but the database supports external code written in other programming languages such as Python, R, Ruby, Node.js, etc. And this means that the developers use the language that they are most comfortable with to interact with the Oracle database. Again, a summary of what our team is looking after in this slide. So we maintain some of these open source drivers for the community, or for the others, we collaborate with external people. This is the example of Godror. And we operate in an open source support model. Now, the TIN drivers talk directly to the database using the Oracle Network Protocol, and the TIC drivers use Oracle's main C APIs, the Oracle Call Interface, not to be confused with the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, which is a new abbreviation which is used by us. In the next few minutes, I will talk about the Python driver, which is displayed here on the left. According to the most recent surveys and reports, there are no seismic shifts in top languages, the most popular programming languages currently being JavaScript, including Node.js, TypeScript, and Python. So we've noticed actually recently that these programming languages are exceeding Java and C. Here are just some statistics from GitHub, Tayobi, and RedMonk. On the RedMonk side, we don't see that JavaScript is listed first. So this is widely used for web development. Python is used for everything, as you know, from data analysis, spatial, graph, NML, to web development and automation. And we've actually seen popularity is on the rise in the recent years, which explains why amongst the other top 5 languages, C, C++, .NET, and Node, Python is picking up, and we are focusing on providing you the driver to allow connection to the Oracle database. So why is our driver important, and why should you care about it? So the Python driver is very popular. We actually noticed that we have around 3.5 million downloads a month. And as you observe from this slide, the areas where Python is used is literally across all sectors and across all verticals. And we work with customers ranging from financial sector, retail, telecom, and so on. For example, we are working currently with Bank of America, Fidelity, but also Python is widely used internally in Oracle, especially in areas around Internet of Things, Oracle advertising, list management. Spatial team is using also our driver for spatial GeoPandas and so on. So Python is used not only by the developers, but it's also picking up with data scientists, data analysts, even DBAs, in activities such as administration, monitoring, numerical analysis, including testing and release management. Here, a bit of a history of our driver. I'm not sure if you are familiar with it, but CX Oracle has a long history. It started in 1998 for Oracle Database 8i and Python 1.5. And the CX was standing for Computronics, which is the company which was actually developing it. Since then, there have been many updates and improvements. And this brings us to 2014, when Oracle started contributing to the driver. Then in 2017, the driver has been refactored to use ODPIC, which allows dynamic linking and loading of the Oracle client libraries. It's a T client using ODPIC wrapper and OCI, Oracle Cloud, Oracle Call Interface. Some users find the installation of Instant Client to be painful, which is why in 2022, we released this thin driver, and we named it python-oracledb, that I'm going to talk about extensively today. Now, the Python driver is the most popular of our open source drivers, like I mentioned, getting those like 3.5 million downloads per month. And as a result, it's used in all sorts of applications, either directly or via popular frameworks, ORMs, and libraries. On the right hand side of the slide, you see that the driver sits in the middle, and it is loaded by Python. It gives an API that you can call. It connects to the Oracle database for all standard relational and also JSON operations. Now, as I mentioned, to make our developers and users' lives easier, in May 2022, we released this new and renamed version of CX Oracle. We named it python-oracledb. It's actually a major upgrade of CX Oracle 8.3. And the python-oracledb driver enables direct access to Oracle database through its thin mode. So one way to think about the upgrade is that we added a thin mode to CX Oracle and made this mode the default. The database can be on the same machine as Python or remote, allowing connections from platforms that don't have Oracle client libraries installed. It allows an easier deployment and a smaller installation footprint. So by this, we actually get a better use of resources and a better performance. Because of thin is not needing the client libraries, this lets you play with it on platforms such as Apple Silicon and IoT devices. The driver is still a binary module needed for performance. So now python-oracledb has Mac OS binaries, and they run on Intel and M1 chips. It provides an optional tick mode, which does use those Oracle client libraries, making it the same as CX Oracle. But it provides a runtime choice to use the tick mode, and I'm going to talk about this in the next few slides. We know that users want all available functionality to be in thin mode, though, so you don't need to install the Oracle client libraries at all. For us, this is an ongoing project, and then we are trying to provide all the functionality and features available in thin mode as well. We provide support for Python 3 and the driver continues to support Python's Oracle database, Python's database API v2 specs in both thin and thick modes. So this means that it works with frameworks such as SQL Alchemy, Django, Pandas, and so on. The driver is still open source. It's using GitHub for its repository, and the license just got updated to Jewel, Apache 2, and UPL. Now, in terms of installing, the python-oracledb is very quick and simple to install. Please notice that its name changed to OracleDB. So what you do is actually you issue a Python pip install OracleDB. In terms of size, the total size is about 18 megabytes on macOS for a fully functional driver, and it's immediately usable in applications. This includes all the dependencies. You can optionally install instant client libraries to be able to use it in thick mode, and as it's traditionally used by the CX Oracle. The basic package adds about 240 megabytes on macOS, so thin mode has a definite size advantage. Let me show you something here in this graphic. It's a comparison of installing the Python OracleDB default thin mode. So this is without the client libraries versus thick mode needing the client libraries. Obviously, if you just opt for thin mode, you will just like get a very small footprint installation. We've got some reviews along our way. You notice that the performance is better. People have informed us that it's more tightly integrated with the Python ecosystem, and it's also more efficient in terms of using the network. Now, to quickly upgrade from CX Oracle, if you're still using CX Oracle and have not upgraded to the latest version, the thin driver, you can import the new driver and give it the old name. Otherwise, do a research and replace throughout your code. I mentioned over here, import OracleDB as CX Oracle. That's pretty much all you have to do. Also note that the connect and session pull function arguments must now be named parameters. This follows the Python DB API. The connection string parameter name is now DSN, the API standards name for data source name. And if you forget to use named arguments, then you can end up with an obscure error message due to the DB API standard implementation. The thin mode uses PEM format wallets. Now, what you need to do to enable thick mode. The driver starts in thin mode, so nothing else needs to be done to use it. But if you want to use the extra thick mode functionality, you need to make a call to this init Oracle client. And of course, separately install Oracle Instant Client, like I mentioned in the previous slide. This is the only way to enable thick mode. And once it's called, you can go back to thin mode. Conversely, if you want to try an existing app in thin mode, then you must remove any call to init Oracle client. On macOS for Intel chips, you would pass the libdir argument set to the instant client directory. And similarly, you can do the same on Windows. However, don't pass libdir if your path environment variable already includes the Oracle client libraries, because you may end up with conflicting library usage if the versions differ. On Linux, you must configure your environment library search path, for example, LD library path, before starting your application, so don't pass libdir at all. All right, so I mentioned thick versus thick. What are the differences? In our initial release, the thin mode feature set was focused on primarily two components. So database API support for using frameworks, and then the second one was the connection management, letting the driver be used with different database deployments, such as with RAC and Oracle Cloud. Now, one design goal was to keep moving forward. So thin mode was only supporting connections up to recent-ish database versions. So if you want to connect back to older databases, you can continue to use thick mode with an appropriate client library version. And some advanced Oracle functionality is currently only available in tick mode, such as our application continuity features. We know that you want to have all these features to be in the teen mode, so you don't need Oracle client libraries. So adding all these features in teen mode is an ongoing project for our team. The key points that I want you to remember from this slide is that teen mode has more than enough functionality to be used for custom applications or with popular frameworks and ORMs in many, many environments, and that we are working on adding more functionality to teen mode. An important slide I consider the active ecosystem. So the driver is easy to use directly in all these popular spaces. Major frameworks and ORMs immediately work with the python-oracledb driver via a few application code lines to map to, the new name back to CX Oracle. And we know the communities are busy updating their implementations for the new namespace. You can install it from all your favorite repositories like PyPlace, CondaForge, Linux repositories. In terms of SQL Alchemy 2.0 has been released in production and it has native support for the new driver. Pandas, which is sitting on top of SQL Alchemy, is to be updated to 2.0. Debian and Ubuntu Linux repositories will have the driver internally. So in the main repository, in their subsequent releases, because previously they had CX Oracle. For Django, there is a pull request on GitHub to add the native support, and users of CondaForge are in luck because a user contribution lets you install directly from this forge. A bit about the vision. We are excited about the future of python-oracledb as it opens new possibilities for applications, and we hope that you share our enthusiasm. Following popular demand, our focus is continuing to be on teen mode. Also, as I speak, we are in process of releasing a teen driver for Node.js. And if you're interested in knowing more about that, please hit me up with an email. I'll be able to actually share the driver with you so you can start working with it. But for the Python-oracledb driver, we are working on ongoing feature additions to teen mode and general usability and performance improvements. We are also working to providing more frequent driver releases with new features, continuing to improve integration with popular frameworks, and we are trying to get a bit of more understanding from you, the users, in terms of what is the user space and where are the drivers working and not working. I'm not sure if you are into ML, but OML for Py is going to start using the Python-oracledb driver in the next releases. In terms of OracleDB features coverage, we also provide support for 23C Boolean type support. And I'd also like to mention that our driver is primarily used even for testing all the Oracle database features. So it's internally widely used in our org. Async IO support is another focus point because there's been popularity request to support async processing and parallel processing. This is like a larger project for us, so we don't have a timeline or guarantee at this stage. Python-oracledb's async IO support will allow highly concurrent application design such as high-performance networking and web servers. Now, a little about my new initiative. It's called Global Developers Program for Python. I'm going to talk a bit about the mission and benefits in the next 2 slides. So what is really this program? I'm trying to actually create a community of users who use Python with Oracle database. And the Global Developers Program for Python is an initiative whose mission is to engage in a Python and Oracle database focused dialogue with our customers and partners, especially if you are developers, data scientists, development managers, any parties really currently using the Python libraries and drivers for interacting with Oracle database from Python. And currently, I am recruiting a select number of customers who have a Python on Oracle database focus and who want to join our initiative. This is going to be launched, like I mentioned in the emails that maybe you have received next month. And my goal is to create a long long-term relationship, close relationship with our key customers and developers who can help us identify product gaps, who can help us set product direction by participating in regular meetings, sharing knowledge, professional experience, and implementation reviews with our group, the product management group, and with your peer customers. Now, in terms of format, the topic is obviously going to be everything you need to know about Python and Oracle database drivers. In terms of frequency, we have one in-person meeting per year, ideally to coincide with the Oracle Cloud World. But then we also do topic-focused virtual meetings and webinars, which will be held quarterly. The first session is going to kick off in June, next month. And then we're also planning to have deep dive one-on-one sessions with the development team. Just to know that this is not going to be a customer advisory board, so there will be no CPCAs and NDAs that you would have to sign. It's going to be easy to join, and just to be aware that if you want to share something, not having those rail guards in place, no CPCAs, no NDAs, maybe you don't want to share any secrets during these sessions. So it's going to be more of like a community forum format. Let me go back over here. So this is my email address. If you're interested in this program, please hit me up with an email, veronica.dumitriu@oracle.com. Now, why is it interesting for you to join? Like I mentioned, I have 3 things that I'm concerned about. The first one is develop a partnership and collaboration with the Python for Oracle database customers. We'd like to build our products having your needs as driving our strategy and roadmap. If you help us understand your business needs, then we can build and incorporate new functionality and capabilities to meet those needs. And obviously, you will hear the latest updates on product directions and capabilities directly from Oracle PM and development. So we'll just set up this community influencing product strategy and solutions, and your feedback during these sessions to us, Oracle product management, is going to be more of like a two-way street, and we will listen to what you have to say. All your feedback will be incorporated into the product roadmap, and it's going to drive our strategies. So I'm trying to foster dialogue via webinars, workshops, speaker opportunities, and in-person meetings. And you'll also be presented a chance to be an early adopter, listing information and access to new features. I want to enable this global community, and I will facilitate one-on-one introductions of customer and partner peers, foster sharing of collective knowledge, professional and career experience, and best practices thinking with this distinguished group of peers from a variety of organizations, disciplines, and global regions. Obviously, we only have a few more weeks before we kick off, so please think about it. If it sparks your interest, just contact me on email. Before we wrap up, I'd like to provide some resources that you can use to aid your learning, especially if you are new to python-oracledb driver. There are 2 QR codes. They will point you to some of our resources, internal resources. So the first one is the Python driver homepage. Second one is the Python driver documentation that can help you understand the concepts, features, and functionalities of the Python driver. The third link is the Python driver code, which is available to be cloned from the GitHub source code repository. And we also have a link to the Python Developer Center on developer-oracle.com, which is dedicated to building apps with Python on the cloud. Now, on the right-hand side QR code, it's going to be a link to the live labs, which is particularly helpful when learning new technologies, allowing you to practice and apply the concepts that you have learned without the risk of damaging your own compute or DB instances. And we already have this live lab available. It's called Getting Started with Python and Oracle Database. And the tutorial provides Python sample files that you could actually use or reuse as needed. I would encourage you to actually go and try it out. All right, so this concludes the session. Thank you very much for attending. I hope that my presentation on using Python with Oracle databases provided you with valuable insights into this topic, and please contact me for any questions that you might have. Thank you.